Hello and welcome to the Queen of Hearts Astrology Forecast for May 2023. It's charging along, and this month is said to be quite an intense, powerful month. Now, there is huge opportunity for healing and release, and for getting a better understanding into the inner workings of your life. Now, this is for a few reasons. We start the month in eclipse season, and we will have ourselves an eclipse, which is in a wide conjunction to the South Node, which is all about releasing and surrendering. Something's coming to a close, something that's been a theme in your life for the last year that was highlighted at last year's eclipses in the Scorpio Taurus axis. Now, this topic is also getting visited by Mercury retrograde, because the full moon is shining on Mercury retrograde, which is only 5 degrees away. And so there is a connection to what you're being asked to repeat and fix up right now with Mercury retrograde. Now, it could just be something as simple as this particular area of life hasn't been working for quite a long time. You're trying to get it sorted out, but it feels like you're treading water right now. This is a bit of a Mercury retrograde feeling, like we're in a holding pattern. We want to move forward, but we are being asked to redo all these things, or resubmit forms, or like have to repeat something that we've already done. That can be very frustrating. There can be interference through other people. Like a lot of people, as Mercury rules technology and it rules the cyber world, a lot of people have had fraud and interferences in their bank accounts and things. So however Mercury retrograde is affecting you will show up based on your natal chart, as will the eclipses. So it's a good idea to have a thorough understanding of your chart and how to read it in terms of actually applying these moving points each month. So if you're curious to learn more about that, you can book in for a session with me at queenofheartsastrology.com. Now, this month also has Pluto retrograde, which is interesting because Pluto has only just recently entered into Aquarius, and it's sort of stepped in and asserted its power and dominance for the next 20 years. It's sort of stamped the energy for this next era that we're stepping into. But it's now about to retrograde on the 2nd of May. And it's going to slowly move backwards until it re-enters Capricorn. And it won't come back into Aquarius until early next year. So in this little period here, you're getting a taste of the next 20 years. Now, it's important, especially if you've got any personal planets or points in the early degrees of fixed signs. So they are Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. So there's a lot of fixed sign action. The eclipses are happening on the fixed axis of Taurus and Scorpio. Okay, Pluto is retrograde in a fixed sign of Aquarius very soon. And we've also got 2 other planets joining the party in fixed signs. So it's interesting. We're seeing this shift from cardinal signs, which are more about initiating and starting new things, that fresh inspiration of Aries, when we're talking about the planet of Jupiter, which has been traveling through Aries for the last few months. It's about to move into Taurus, which is a very different vibe. Okay, so it is time, once we've done the work of actually looking over our life and making those changes with Mercury retrograde, like reviewing things and actually knowing what we want to do moving forward. As May progresses, it will be time to start laying the groundwork, trying to create things that will stand the test of time, starting to think about how do we use this fixed sign emphasis, which is happening at the moment. What do we want to do as a habit? This is all about healthy habits, because we have Jupiter and we have Mars both going into fixed signs. So Mars is about to go into Leo, And that will be happening on the 21st of May. But Jupiter will lead the way on the 17th of May and go into Taurus. So what this means is if you have planets in Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus, you are likely to be feeling or seeing events in your life which are, you know, catalyzing things. It might be, you know, you might feel like there's a need to really lay down roots, you know, to really settle things and help them to endure, you know, over the winter, or if you're in the northern hemisphere over summer, because of the fixed sign desire for things that last, you know. So think about what you want to commit your time to at the moment. Think about what Mercury retrograde has taught you. Like, you've probably been working over a problem, you know, or something might have been breaking and just really driving you mental. Look at the painful, annoying material right now, because this is going to show you most likely what is happening. And so the good news is hopefully you've got a bunch of lessons that you can gather from this time. And there'll be an interplay with the eclipses as well, because especially for people with fixed signs, because it is going to help you to release the past, release these ways of being, release these dynamics in relationships, release these habits that don't serve you. And then when we start to move forward and Mercury starts to station direct to move forward toward the end of May, then it's going to be time to start thinking, okay, now I know more than I used to know. What am I going to do differently? And you're going to have the support of other planets who are also going to be in fixed signs, helping you to actually lay a firmer foundation. Now, it's interesting that Jupiter is in Taurus and Mars is in Leo, because in traditional astrology, we actually like to see the benefic or the fortune planets such as Jupiter in the superior position, so in the earlier sign, because it can assert a dominance or kind of hold that malefic planet, so Mars. It can hold any of that malevolence kind of at bay a little bit. It can help to mediate any excesses of that planet. So I like that Jupiter's in Taurus beforehand, and then it can start to mediate, because what's going to happen is once Jupiter gets into Taurus, it's going to square Pluto. Jupiter square Pluto is really, really interesting aspect. And I think this is going to have implications in the world. I think it's going to maybe be seen in terms of financial markets. There could be some big ups and perhaps some big downs. If you think about the charts of very wealthy people in the world, like Gates and Buffett and these kind of characters, they have got these connections between Jupiter and Pluto. So that's why I'm suggesting that this Jupiter-Pluto square is likely to bring some big wealth activity. And if it ties into your birth chart, maybe you might win the lotto or something. But yeah, no, it's just interesting to look at these rather uncommon big transits, because they do have a significant impact as well. Now, I want to see what else there was, that if there's anything else I wanted to cover off. Now, Venus will be changing signs as well, moving out of Gemini into Cancer. Now, she's been moving through Gemini, which has been rather interesting because she's been moving with Pluto, which has added a deeper, perhaps intense energy to relationships. But still, Gemini is a very jovial, curious, social kind of Venus. So, you know, it might have been a good time to get out and be a little bit more social and meet new people. But on the 8th of May, when Venus moves into the sign of Cancer, the relational tone changes. And that means for us, you know, that we might feel a bit more like homebodies. We might just want to stay at home, you know, just snuggle with our nearest and dearest, or with our cats. So, you know, for all those single people out there. Or we might just feel a little bit more yin, a little bit more shy, reserved, not so out there in terms of our socializing, just sort of keeping the circle smaller, hanging out with close friends rather than meeting a lot of new friends. So the energy dynamic does change quite a lot. It could be a good time to develop a deeper sense of romance and love and connection and safety with someone, because Venus in Cancer really loves that. So yeah, I thought I would certainly mention that. Yeah, and that is about all. We will have Mercury stationing direct on the 15th of May, which, remember, station days can be highlighted as a little bit extra wobbly. So if you're making any big plans, any big investments or signing contracts, etc., don't do it on the 15th of May. Give it at least a day either side. And if possible, wait till after Mercury retrograde. Now, I am moving during Mercury retrograde, and actually Mercury will be moving through my 4th house, or it is moving through my 4th house at the moment. And there are disruptions in the home and living environment, and delays in terms of my move. So I totally expected it, but sometimes you can't change your life around the astrology. So my suggestion to you is just to know what you're in for, as best you can, and just to roll with the punches and accept that sometimes, what is destined for you might be a little bit of a ride. So yeah, I hope that this finds you really well. Please let me know how you're feeling during this eclipse season, how Mercury retrograde has been treating you. Hopefully it's been treating you well. I feel like it's been doing a bit of a number on me. Mercury retrograde is going through my activated 4th house, because I'm in a 4th house perfection year for all those astro nerds out there. And it definitely turns up the intensity, because I'm normally like, oh, Mercury retrograde doesn't affect me, until now. Anyway, hope you're well, and I'll be back again for one of these soon.